What's going on, Workforce? Brian here for Work to Game, and today we're going over the patch 4.1 preliminary notes. So there will be another version of these notes that come out typically on Monday, the day of patch maintenance, and that usually includes like items that are now for sale or pricing adjustments, usually small little bits and pieces. Usually this is the meat of the notes here, and there is a lot to go over. So I would recommend go getting a nice cup of coffee or a drink and sitting down and either reading these together. The link will be in the description below, or I'm just going to go through these as best as I can. This tends to be a longer video than normal, so I do appreciate you being here. But let's go ahead, without further ado, let's do this thing. 4.1 drops on Tuesday, October the 10th. And with it, you can see that on the front page, if you haven't seen the trailer, please go do so. It is really good. It's a little bit condensed, and we talked about it. The section is going to be broken up into playable content that includes quest, treasure hunts, and housing, the battle system, PvP, items system, guild leaves, grain and free companies, and additional updates. So let's go ahead and go down the list here. So you'll know that on the notes, 2x, 3x, 4x, this designates whether it is going to be available only for the expansion of Stormblood, for Heaven's Word, or in this case for just A Realm Reborn. And they kind of use that as a way to tell you, like, okay, this is obviously going to affect everybody. It doesn't matter if you have the expansion or not, but we'll just go ahead and go down the list. So first up, we got main scenario quests have been added. We're going to kind of scroll through these real quickly. I don't want to have the any opportunity to ruin it. They do usually mark them with question marks, and it looks like we actually are getting quite a few main scenario quests. Hopefully they're not a lot of fetch quests, but the story has a lot of ways to go about it. So if you've completed Stormblood, what direction are we going to go? This is really exciting and really interesting. What I'm most excited about is the new Chronicles of an Era quest have been added. This is Return to Ivalice. You can see they've got two main quests that are kind of tied up with this. This is the new 24-man raid. We've seen a little bits and pieces of images, but they have really kept this under lock and key. They do not want to spoil anything, and I cannot wait to dive in on it on Tuesday. Players can now move to the Royal Menagerie by speaking with the Royal Menagerie attendant in the Alamingo Quarter after completing the certain main scenario quest. And this is beautiful. This area is really quite stunning, and I'm really happy to see that they're letting us return. Usually be talked about this sometime during the summer, and it's great that we're going to have that ability here as well. Players can now move between Okaro and Sakaguchi by speaking with the NPCs at the location below. After completing the main scenario quest, Tide goes in, Imperials go out. So it looks like you can be able to kind of ferry from here to here, which is going to be a huge benefit, especially if you haven't unlocked flying and you're trying to really get from Kugane over here, etc. Or if nothing else, like it always kind of felt like if you're going to zone in, you're going to be over here, so you got to do a lot of work to get back over here. So I'm glad to see that they're adding a ferry there. New side story quests have been added, so you can see obviously Hildebrand right there, Disciples of War Magic level 70, based off in Kugane, so it looks like that's where he's landing. This they just said is kind of a prologue. Heaven's Word, I never really got it back into it, but we've talked about that enough. Hopefully this is going to be something fun and exciting, and hopefully a nice tease into maybe some future content with Hildebrand. The following adjustments have been made to the anima weapons. The rate at which the weapons gain etheric condensation has been increased for certain duties. More duties will contribute to etheric condensation, and Lux replica anima weapons can be purchased from the restoration node in Azla. So that's great. That's fantastic news for everybody who have been trying to get those weapons, even if nothing else, just for the glamour perspective. It's good to see that they're still having that kind of content. I've actually seen people doing that, and honestly, it was really kind of surprising. I was like, oh, well, yeah, that weapon's not going to necessarily be the strongest today, but from a glamour perspective, it is something to collect. The Kojin Beast Tribe quest have been added. I'm really excited to explore more with the Kojin, and personally, they do the level scaling that they did in Heaven's Word. This is going to be a great way to help level up your various other jobs with several quests that happen each day, and then obviously the potential for getting a new mount as well. So I'm looking forward to being able to spend some more time out in the open world doing those quests. Quest Sync. The Kojin main quest and daily quest will employ an automatic level adjustment system known as Quest Sync, which will match the difficulty of battles to the player's current job and quest levels. Any experience received upon completion of these quests will be adjusted accordingly. Furthermore, players will not be allowed to proceed with a class or job that is different than they accepted these quests. So that is exactly kind of how it worked in Heavensward, and you know, it actually is a really good system. So it'll be great to see if it's something that starts, and it looks like it does start at level 60. Heavensward stuff started at actually level 50, so from 50 to 60 and beyond, you could actually get, you know, more experience, or have your experience and rewards adjusted to whatever you're leveling. The same thing goes with the difficulty, which was really nice and made it to where, you know, you could do those on a day-to-day basis. So to unlock the Kojin daily quest, players must first complete the quest Heaven Sent, and the Beast Tribe currency. Players will earn the Kojin Sengo by completing the Kojin Beast Tribe quest. The amount of the Sengo currently held is displayed in your currency window. That's also a big update that they've talked about multiple times, that all the Beast Tribe quest stuff is moving into the currency tab, which is great because it's going to be out of my inventory, and I couldn't be happier with that. Players level 50 or above will now receive Algund Tomestones of Poetics upon completing Nath or Vanu Beast Tribes on their daily quests. Honestly, this is great. Poetics. This is really great. Poetics are fantastic for level 50 gear and even level 60 gear. I always find myself capped, and you know, if you're going to be doing these quests, might as well continue to get currency in which that you can either get that 50 gear for glamour, or maybe you need it for a new job, as well as level 60. Guild leaves. XP reward upon completed level 50 to 58 tradecraft leaves has been increased. Thank God. Okay, we did it, everybody. We can, you know, all right, game is fixed. Treasure hunt. The new area within the Lost Canals of Uzanar and Hidden Canals of Uzanar has been added. So we got a new treasure room, and they're talking about entering the Hidden Canals of Uzanar. Treasure coffers in the Lost Canals of Uzanar will now occasionally yield a Time Word Thief's map, which will reveal a new location on your map. Players can then use the general action dig at the location shown to find a teleportation ward that leads to the Hidden Canals of Uzanar. Treasure chests located within the are armed with traps, which then triggered will release enemies from their cages. Upon defeating them, the player who causes the teleportation ward to appear will be able to open the treasure chest and retrieve the reward and the vault key within. The vault key can be used to open up 1 of 3 available doors. Should your party be lucky enough to choose the correct one, you'll be allowed to progress through 6 subsequent chambers and eventually fight your way to the final chamber. An incorrect door is chosen, players will be removed. In the event the party is defeated, all players will be removed. Several additions and adjustments have been made to the rewards available to Lost Canals of Uzanar. So, and they don't tell us what those adjustments are. Granted free company updates. The following additions and adjustments have been made to the adventure squadrons. So the amount of XP gained from missions has been increased. The difficulty of flag mission, Void Scent Elimination, which grants squadron rank 2, has been reduced. The level cap for squadron members is raised to 60, so not quite 70 there. Change class and confirmed chemistry can now be accessed by speaking with a squadron member, and these features previously only available via the regiment board. Command missions have been added, allowing players to enter instance dungeons alongside their party members. For a second there, I was like, wait, this looks almost kind of like one of the level 60 dungeons, but then I was wrong. While unit members have their own free will corresponding with the situational demands, they will be given orders to guide their actions. This is required for squadron rank 2 and above. Listen to the squadron sergeant explaining about new missions. So that you gotta, I guess, talk to him, and he's gonna open that up. So the available dungeons: Halatali, Brayflox, the Wondrous Palace, the Thousand Maws, and Stone Vigil. Forming a party. To start the command process, a party of 1 tank, 1 healer, and 2 DPS is required. This includes the player's role. You select the command missions after speaking with the squadron. The command mission from the list, so it looks like you have to actually unlock them in order. It's not going to open them all up completely for you. Then the chosen units wish to take on the deploy option. You will now enter the command mission and select the unit members. So then you have 3 commands. You got engage, disengage, and then I think then you can re-engage. And then you also have the execute limit break. Commands, battle tactics. So battle tactics govern the unit's behavior during the command mission. New battle tactics may be acquired by completing the command missions. 1 battle tactic can be assigned to each unit member. Speak with the unit member to display their orders and enlistment papers. So then regarding the tactics, you can see that you have independent, offensive, defensive, and balanced. And it looks like each one kind of gives a different buff depending on what you choose. And so it looks like they're going to also level up in mastery. And it looks like obviously to start, you only get one and then you have to unlock the rest. So glamours can also now be applied to the gear of squadron members who is level 51 and above, and they show you how to cast glamours on the squadron member. So this is great for anybody who actually, you know, if you didn't unlock any of the special ones that had kind of unique looks to them, well, you know, there you go. I don't know if there's going to still be any kind of value into trying to collect those. Maybe their base stats are better, and that will be interesting to see. But if nothing else, you can make your squad look however you want them to look. And it looks like you just also use prisms as well. So it looks like those are still required. So then they say the following items can be purchased, and they don't show them. So we'll probably see those in the full notes. Same thing for new craftable items. New rewards have been added. And because alliances can now be formed through the Party Finder, which is really quite nice, the entrance to the diadem with the alliance via company workshops has been temporarily suspended. So it looks like they're maybe doing some adjustments or some work there. Maybe this is also going to be in line with what we see with Eureka down the road. Housing. Plots can be purchased in Shirogane, and then they go through a lot of housing information. We've covered this and they've talked about it regarding prices. So you can see to start, prices for small range from 3 million to 3.7 million, medium from 16 to 20 million, large from 40 to 50 million, and then that adjustment for small we got 1 to 1.8, 1.4 million to 1.8, 7.9 to 9.9, and 19 to 24. So quite a substantial amount of price adjustment accordingly with, obviously as time goes by, that price is going to get down. Talk about building estates. Also, apartments can be purchased in Shirogane. If you don't know what an apartment is, there are tons of them. You can always get an apartment, which is like a room. You also have a chocobo stable. There are the features so that if you don't have a private house, or if you don't have a free company house, if you've got enough gil, you're able to purchase an apartment, which is where you can teleport back to, and it's got a lot of nice amenities. It looks like apartment pricing is starting at 500,000 gil, which makes about sense because if you go for a free company private room, that runs you about 300,000. So your own private apartment, that seems about fair. It is quite a bit. I know some people, if you don't have that kind of gil, it can seem kind of daunting, but you don't need to feel like you need a rush on apartments. They have those in spades. The relocation feature has been added, and we've talked about that, and they've shown this off. It really looks real easy. So then they kind of go into more detail about, relocating to a new plot, how you purchase the land, how you select whether it's for an individual or a, obviously a free company, and then the relocation complete option, as well as the 30% discount in price, furnishings, etc. And then they talk about kind of the exterior features, interior features, miscellaneous saleable plots, various notes, etc. I'm skipping over a lot of the housing because if you guys want to go really look into the details, please feel free. Just we've talked about this in Spade and they showed it off. And it's really, in my mind, it's quite substantial. But let me know in the comments below if you want me to spend more time on those aspects. And then again, storefronts, which is a way that you can kind of store your items, and it's a way also in transferring that your items don't get destroyed. This is a really good feature, and they say that like for the size of your room, house determines your storefront, where you can kind of store these items, and it's going. But when you're doing a relocation, they will increase that up to the maximum 440. And then talking about accessing your storeroom, and then where you can kind of see it, and so who's got the rights for it. So using storerooms for indoor furnishing and outdoor furnishing. This is the screens in which that you can see what is available there, and then as well as your layout mode. So this is real. I'm really happy to see this. This is going to help, especially when you're building out all these different types of houses and furnishings. It's going to be, I think, a lot easier and a lot less burden on people's inventories. More on residents. Obviously players can now swim in different residential areas. They showed this off in the patch 4.1 live stream, and it looks really great. So they have added swimming to all the city areas, not just the new one. And so this is going to be really great. I cannot wait to go and kind of float and kind of enjoy. I'm in Limsa Limenza, and so that's going to be great because we've always kind of had that nice little ocean view as well. They talked about adding new furnishings, new paintings, many things. And so we'll just go ahead and keep scrolling. And then obviously you've got your junkmonger, armor menders. New appearances are added for them. So they have the very Shirogane and Eastern theme that is tied with them. And then they say the following furnishings can no longer be destroyed when removed. New orchestral rolls have been added. New harvestable crops have been added. New seeds and flower pots have been added. And so they go from there. Estate-related items have been added to the following NPC shops. So you have various just shops that are going to be selling more things for you. Aquarium fish have been added. So I know for anybody who's interested in this, I think Chris just recently discovered that aquariums could be added in the game, and he's now very curious. And so, sunken treasure tank trimmings. Oh, you can now have a nice little treasure chest in your aquarium. This is where it's going to get fun. New prizes are available for purchase for MGP. It looks like we got a new flying mount. That looks fantastic. And I'm really interested to see if we're going to see any more high-end $1 million prizes that are available. I just got my Finure mount, and that was quite a long time of saving. Anyway, we got new triple triad cards have been added. Looks like Philodona is right over there, hanging out with a 3/5 and 6 and an 8. All right, following triple triad, battle area has been changed. The green HUD mud plops area has been changed to the snail. So they kind of showing that off where that's at as well. The following additions have been made to the challenge log. A new challenge log entry has been added. So the customer is always right. It looks like a rewards of 1,000 gil and complete 6 custom deliveries is the requirement. Additional completion requirements are added to pre-existing challenge log entries. Feeling lucky. Additional completion requirements have been added to the pre-existing challenge log entries. Feeling lucky. Aqua Gleam Hunter Force. So this is the duty raid, the Alliance raid, as well as the hidden canals of Uzanar are going to apply to that. New vistas have been added, and so a vista is sightseeing. You can go and kind of find these areas to unlock them. New location and entry. The sightseeing log has been adjusted. New emotes have been added. Looks like we can do a little fisticuffs right there. New athestician new hairstyles have been added. They kind of showing those off. They showed that off in a post earlier this week. Among new hairstyles is one of the winning styles from the 14 hairstyle design contest. The new the entrance to the Violet Tides of the Ruby Sea has been changed. And then Kugani airship landings will now be added to the Aethernet in Kugani after attuning to all locations. The following actions and traits have been adjusted. So we're jumping now into the battle system here. And so this is going to be really key for anybody who wants to know exactly what's happening, minus any translation issues again. Steel Cyclone HP absorption has been increased. Fail Cleave, Decimate, and Inner Release. Inner Beast, Steel Cyclone, and Unchained will now be replaced by these actions when using Deliverance. As such, they can no longer be set to the hotbar. So you're setting one action and it's going to flip between the two. Shake It Off. The effect removes most all detrimental effects, has been changed to creates a barrier around itself and all party members that absorbs damage totaling 8% of the maximum HP. Recast time increased to 60 to 90 seconds. I saw on the forums they even said that based off of the different abilities you had, it would increase this. So it looks like they said totaling 8%, that they said it, and on the forums it was 4%, and then if you used your other two abilities, it would increase that, but it's not saying it here, so don't quote me on it, but that's still pretty great. 8% of maximum HP on a warrior really makes you want to kind of couple that with Thrill of Battle anyway, because that's going to increase your maximum HP anyway, and that's going to be a nice buff, and that's going to be great for warriors. I'm going to have to give them another look now that they've got that ability and kind of see how they play. True Thrust, potency increased from, sorry. Now for Dragoon. So lots of changes here, guys. Okay, so True Thrust, potency increase. So it looks like 10 for Vorpal, 10 for Impulse Drive, 10 for Heavy Thrust, but the damage, increased damage effect has been cut from 15 to 10%. And target's flanks looks like it's been from 180 to 190, so there's still buffs there. Full Thrust, potency increase. Dragon's Eye reduced the number of eyes needed from 4 to 3. Jump, potency increase. Disembowel, potency increase. Doom Spike, 10, another 10. Spine Shatter, another 10. Chaos Thrust, another 10. Oh, 20 for Dragonfire Dive. Blood of the Dragon can no longer be executed while under the effect of Life of the Dragon. Fang and Claw, 50 to 60. Okay, so on this, on my Dragon's only 60. I've not played them in Stormblood, so I don't know if this is going to be scary or if this is a good thing. So you just let me know, any dragons out there. Fang and Claw, we got another potency increase. Willing Thrust, potency increase. Gear Skogul, potency increase. Recast time is reduced from 35 to 30 seconds. and then it looks like it has the effect from has been changed with 3 to 4 eye units. Sonic Thrust, another potency increase. Area effect has been increased as well. Mirage Dive, potency increased. Nestron, potency increase. Life of the Dragon, you was talking about the 3-eye piece. Tons of potency boost, guys. That looks like, hopefully to offset that. Heavy thrust from 15 to 10. So that's kind of what they mean by that. Let me know what your thoughts are like there. I really want to see some interesting rotation adjustments as well as just the overall potency and damage output that the Dragon has now. Doten, an issue where the trait Dipping Blades 2 increase the damage of this action has been addressed. In accordance with this change, the potency of this action has been increased from 40 to 45, and then the time required to execute this action has been reduced. So not too much for the Ninja. Machinist, Rook Auto Turret, Hypercharge effect increased, target's damage taken increased from 5 to 6%. Same thing for the Bishop. So not a huge adjustment, but a nice little adjustment there. So Summoner, this is, I really can't wait to go and kind of play with the Summoner now. Summon 1, 2, and 3, cast time 6 to 3 seconds. It's a huge amount of time. Tri-bind, the Dreadworm trance effect removes the bind effect and increases potency by 70, not 100 as originally reported, and reduces the MP cost and has been added. Cast time has been reduced from 3 seconds to 2.5. Ruin 3, potency reduced from 150 to 130, but the MP cost has been reduced, and I'm going to bet that it's been reduced severely. The additional effect, no cast time when Dreadworm's trance has been added. So it looks like Ruin 3 is going to become an insta-cast ability when you're under the effect of Dreadworm trance. Potency's gone down a little bit, but that's not. I think that's going to be okay because it's essentially replacing Ruin 1 for us. It's going to be our main attack, and Ruin 2 and Ruin 4 is where the kind of the big offhanded changes. So Ruin 4 cast time has been made instant. Aether Pack recast time has been increased from 90 to 120 seconds. And this no longer requires a party member within 30 ohms. So that's going to be that devotion abilities, and that's going to be an AoE. The effect increases attack potency and healing magic potency of the closest party member within 30 ohm radius by 5%, and also reduces damage taken by a party member by 5%, has been changed to increases damage dealt and reduces damage taken by all party members within 30 ohm radius by 2%. Also increases healing magic potency to all party members by 5. So everybody's getting a 2% buff for this that's within range of 30 ohms, which is quite a big area, as well as then it's going to increase the healing magic potency of 5%. So that's still, the healing perspective for healers is still there. I was hoping for 5% overall, but who wouldn't? But the fact that it's AoE and it's not going to have to sit here and, that was just a mess. Ruin Mastery is going to now be acquired at level 54, which was previously 62, and it grants the 50% chance that Ruin and Ruin 3 are upgraded to Ruin 4 after pet uses the action. It's been changed to Ruin to Ruin 3, and the activation requirement has been removed. The icon has been changed. So when you learn Ruin 3, it's Ruin 1 goes to Ruin 3, and then it looks like with Ruin 4 that its cast time has been made instant. And I think what I'm hearing is that Ruin 2 becomes Ruin 4. And so then you have Arcanist Scholar, and so Summon 1, 2 have been reduced their cast times and MP cost. Adlo, MP cost reduction, which is good. Sucker, MP cost reduced, but the berry effect from 100 has been increased from 100% to 150% the amount of HP restored. So that's really cool. Fey Caress when in sick mode. Celine will now activate Fey Caress when inflicted with an enfeeblement that can be removed with this skill. Magic range DPS roll actions, Adel Mantle Shift, and Apothecasis. Reduction across the board in cast time. Trying to make those more, I guess, competitive in your selection of abilities. And Magic Rain DPS Healer Roll action, Surecast. The effect, next spell is cast without interruption, has been changed to spells can be cast without interruption. The additional effect nullifies null. Knockback and draw-in effects has been changed to nullifies most knockbacks and draw-in effects. And the duration reduced from 10 to 5 seconds. New actions have been added. Arcanist, Summoner, and Scholar are getting sustained back, and this is hugely important. It's been one of the abilities that was hyperly requested by the community. It's been sorely missed. This is going to be great for your pet, especially for any kind of solo, but I always found myself wanting that. So I'm going to have to go play with my hotbars and try to bring that back in. A new trait has been added, Enhanced Ruin 2 grants a 15% chance that pet action will trigger further Ruin, basically upgrading your Ruin 2 ability to Ruin 4. And I think that's important, and also it's going to be very interesting to see how that plays out. Ranged physical DPS and ranged magic DPS classes will now be able to see their own targeting indicators when using a limit break action. Okay. Effects of the following actions will now always be displayed regardless of graphic settings: Provoke, Ultimatum, and Shirk. That's important to know. If you get your graphic settings turned down, sometimes it's hard to see if something's kind of applied to you. It's a bit like Shirk and Provoke and Ultimatum. The Paladin action Sword Oath will no longer end when logging out. The help text for certain actions and traits has been adjusted. Icons for certain traits have been changed. The following effects can now be displayed on the status icons with their associated actions are used: Aether Flow, Draw, Royal Road, and Spread. This is great to help communicate to anybody who doesn't have that job UI, so they can see it within the party list if you're holding what particular card, how many charges of Aether Flow you have. Very helpful stuff. UI location, party list, status effects, focus target bar, and target info status. So it looks like, I don't know why that's listed there. Might be not understanding it, but okay. The text command to adjust the size of Demi Bahamut has been added. And you can, and you will see that further details under the system section. The new dungeon, Drowned City of Scala, has been added, and we can see a picture of this. Looks like the item level requirement is 300 or above. Disciples War Magic level 70, and it's for 4 players. The HP of enemies in level 15 to 49 and level 51 to 59 dungeons has been adjusted up or down. I'm assuming down, but you never know. A new trial, Minstrel's Ballad, Shinru's Domain, has been added. So this item level requirement is level 320 and above for 8 players. So, very excited to see Shinru come back as an extreme boss. That's going to be interesting. Items that are dropped directly from boss enemies will now drop from treasure boxes the following trials: Limitless Blue, Thok, and Containment Bay. So it looks like various items are dropping from those extreme versions. The Alliance Raid, the Royal City of Rabanastar, has been added. This is really exciting. Again, they talk about Final Fantasy Tactics, Final Fantasy XII, really trying to play that up with who kind of wrote the story for this and who designed the bosses. Role requirements: party matches automatically via the Duty Finder will comprise of 1 tank, 2 healers, and DPS classes. So they're talking about, again, that's the 3 kind of 8-mans, 1 tank, 2 healers, 5 DPS. Rewards: you can receive only 1 reward item per week for completing the Royal City of Rabanastar. If you guys are not familiar with this, that this is the current content, you get 1 item a week, and eventually that restriction is going to be lifted. So just be very careful on your rolls. And no matter what, I know whenever we're running, it's easy for somebody to forget and just, oh, something dropped, I'm going to roll on it, and then it's not actually anything they wanted, and then they're kind of like, well, you can try again next week. And this is just a way that they don't, that you run the content more often and you're not sitting here running it back to back and back and burning out within just a week. The weekly restrictions on Maki Matter from Dun Scythe has been removed. The entry requirements for the Labyrinth of the Ancients has been changed. So before it was 2 tanks, 2 healers. Now they've shifted it to 1 tank, 2 healers, and 5 DPS. The time until the boss area in Alliance Raid dungeons is sealed. Time until the boss area in Alliance Raid dungeons is sealed has been increased from 15 to 30 seconds. Players will now receive the power of the Echo in the event all party members are incapacitated during the following trials. So it looks like they're talking about like Examination, the Pool of Tribute, and Royal Menagerie. So the Echo is being added to those fights. This will help if you kind of get wiped out, up to a maximum of 50% increase in stats. And so that should help anybody who might, if they're still struggling with getting their clears for that. Also, it will help for people not abandoning. You always see this coming, with any of these fights, but it is what it is. The weekly restriction rewards for Omega Deltascape have been removed. So if there's still something you're hunting for, you can go and get that without any. You can roll on everything now, and and good luck on getting what you're looking for. This is really important for me, so I've been kind of concerned, but it looks like, at least for now, the Duty Roulette Expert has been reorganized to include the new dungeon, the Drowned City of Scala. So it's not like they're creating a new, kind of area for these other dungeons. So this is really great, because I'm hoping that they keep doing this, but at least in an interview that I've read, they might move it to something else. But for the time being, at least it's going to feel like, hey, this is a good option. It's going to go from a 33% chance to a 25% chance to get something. The Duty Roulette Alliance Raids has been added to the Duty Finder. It looks like you're obviously going to have the 6 options, and to unlock them you just need to have completed 2 to access this Duty Roulette. The following duties have been added to the Mentor, City of Scala, and the Royal City of Rabanastar. Following additions and adjustments have been made to the raid finder. So it looks like the Shinru's domain has been added. Players can now queue and enter the following trials in the duty finder: the Pool of Tribute and the Examination Extreme. The Minstrel's Ballad Shinru's domain has been added to the list of challenges in Stone, Sky, and Sea. The following and re-implementation of the Arcanist action Sustain. It cannot be used in conjunction with a sustaining potion item that's in the Palace of the Dead. Moreover, the effects of one will override the other. Seems fair. Players will now receive Brilliant Conviction effect when entering quest battles introduced prior to patch 4.1. So I'm going to be interested to see how that plays out. Now, PvP, there's a lot of changes here. New PvP actions has been added. Warrior, Thrill of War, increases maximum HP of self and nearby party members by 10% and restores 10% of your HP, and it's going to last for 10 seconds. Dragoon, it's getting Dragon Sight. Grants right eye and left eye to the target party member, increases your damage dealt by 10% and the target party member's damage dealt by 10%, as long as the target remains within 15 yalms. It's going to last for 10 seconds. Bard, Troubadour, adds the additional effect of the song currently being sung. So you got Army Paean, reduces damage taken by 5. Wanderer's Minuet, increases damage dealt by 5, and then 10 seconds. It can only be used while singing Army's Paean or Wanderer's Minuet. Machinist Flamethrower delivers damage over time to all enemies in a cone before you. Potency 250, duration 10 seconds. Gauss Barrel effect, heat gauge gradually increases by 10. Flamethrower is active. Heat gauge not affected when used outside of battle. Additional effect, fire damage over time, stacking up to 10 times. Potency 250, duration 6 seconds. The effect ends upon using another action or moving. So it's putting you in place, and if it can stack up to 10 times, and if that potency keeps stacking, that could be actually quite damaging if you're able to kind of bind players or keep them locked into a particular area. Red Mage Barricure restores target's HP, cure potency 1500. Additional effects, grants dual cast, allowing next spell to be cast immediately. Action will not grant dual cast while already under its effect, but it seems like you can, I guess, Barricure and then kind of queue up your dual cast to be able to move, heal and move, I guess, but we'll have to see there. Astrologian Sleeve Draw executes draw and minor arcana in succession, executes the command to use the Arcanium draw. Only one Arcanium can be drawn at a time. It's going to last 30 seconds, or duration 30 seconds. Additional effect restores 1000 MP. Will not override currently saved Arcanium. Minor Arcania converts currently drawn Arcanium to Lord of Crowns when Balance or Spire, or Lady of Crowns when Bowl or Ur. Executes command again to use the Arcanium drawn. And then you have Lord of Crowns and Lady of Crowns. Lord of Crowns being a 1000 potency attack. Lady of Crowns a 2500 potency cure. Then PvP actions have been adjusted as followed. Holy Spirit additional effects, increase host gauge by 5 and requisite. Recast duration reduced from 10 seconds to 6. The additional effect reduces MP cost of all spells to 0 has been added. It's going to be great for Holy Spirit, be able to kind of just blast that off, but it looks like you got 6 seconds to move rather than the 10. Dragoon Skewer additional effect reduces target attack, magic, and healing magic potency by 20 has been changed to 10%. Dragon's Eye, Dragon Gauge maximum reduced from 4 to 3 units. Blood of the Dragon recast time from 10 to 5. Garskogel, Nestron, Life of the Dragon. Looks like we're getting potency reduction across the board here. And it looks like recast time reduced as well. And the Dragon Eye cost reduced as well. And Life of the Dragon now states that the Dragon Gauge will only require 3 units to receive Life of the Dragon status after using Garskogel. Samurai, Taken Goken, action now requires a target. Ninja, the time reduced to execute this action has been reduced. Bard, Repelling Shot, the additional effect of Bind has been added. Summoner, Energy Drain, recast time increased from 1 to 3 seconds. And Red Mage, so it says increased the white mana generation from 10 to 15 for all those spells listed right here, all the Vers. For Holy, additional effect restores 115 MP has been added. Vera Flare, that's going to be, oh man, it's going to be great. One of the problems I've had with Red Mage is their lack of MP reduction. Vera Flare, additional effect restores 250 TP has been added. Flunge, TP cost reduced from 300 to 250. Myomancy, duration changed to 10 seconds. Recast time from 10 to 45 seconds. Corpse to Corpse, Additional effect reduces recast time by 5%, 5 seconds if reduced on a target. Suffering, the monomancy effect inflicted by you. And displacement, the additional effect reduces recast time by 5 seconds if used on a target. Suffering, the monomancy effect inflicted by you has been added. So tons of changes to Red Mage. That's going to be interesting to play around with on Tuesday. The following PvP job actions have been removed. Warrior, oh my gosh, inner release. This was insane in PvP, and I'm sorry to see it go. And they're only, again, getting that, jumping back up here, they're getting Thrill of War. That sounds great. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that trade-off. That seems kind of weak. Dragoon, Battle Litany, Bard, Battlefield March, Machinist Report, Red Mage Magnification, Astrologian Draw, and Deorbit. Okay, so Draw looks like it's going to Sleeve Draw. Deorbit, I just did not like that ability. I didn't think it was great, but I'm glad to see what they're getting, and you know what? It's gone. That's fine. The amount of PvP experience received from PvP duties has been increased. The Feast 4-on-4 training match has been added and is available via Duty Finder. Matchmaking algorithms have been adjusted for the Feast 4-on-4 ranked match to ensure players are matched within others of the same adjacent tier. This is going to only be good if there's enough people competing in it. Otherwise, match times are just going to be just the worst. Match progress window will no longer become active when entering a PvP area or returning to a home point after being incapacitated in the feast. That's just I have no idea really what that means. I'm pretty sure it's going to make more sense when when I'm more awake. The sound effects played when using quick chat option, the quick chat option retreat has been changed. Job requirements to spectate custom matches have been changed to any class or job at level 30 or above. The new items have been added, so we get some new gear here. New recipes have been added. New dies have been added. The following items have been changed from unique, untradeable to untradeable. So here is belt of fending, memming, all that fun stuff. The following items no longer share cooldown timers with medicine, such as potions. Well, that's good. The sale price of certain items has been adjusted. The order of certain items as they appear in the market board when using the sort function has been changed. You now can actually retrieve Matera from your gear, and they kind of showed this off on the live stream. Looks pretty cool. The following will now appear in the currency tab. Thank you so much. Thank you. That's going to be so helpful. So obviously Beast Tribe's going to take their respective currency, but you can go from there. Venture promissory notes, you can get them from the Calamity Scavenger or retainers in your employ. From patch 4.1 onward, new acquired Beast Tribe currencies and ventures will be added directly to the currency window. I guess maybe we have to do a conversion, or they're going to be converted to promissory notes, and we'll go from there. Ventures can no longer be obtained via leather, goatskin, toadskin, boarskin, pesty skin, treasure maps, or desynthesis. Coffers containing item sets such as the Valor Armor Coffer can now be used outside of large settlements. Thank you. The success rate of desynthesis and items attained in dungeons introduced after Heavensward and Stormblood has been adjusted. The optimal skill rating for desynthesis will now be displayed by selecting items in the desynthesis window and viewing item descriptions. So they kind of show that right there. That's excellent. The display only recent recipes option has been added to the filter conditions in the crafting log interface. The following crafter and gather actions can no longer be repeated while already under their effects. So they kind of list those here. And that makes sense. You're already under the effect. No need to repeat. Fisher's Skill Fathom will no longer require to activate Truth of Oceans. New Miner and Botanist gathering points have been added. New items have been added to the gathering points. The location of gathering points in the peaks has been adjusted. The time in which the following gathering points appear has been switched. New fish have been added. New spearfishing locations in the Ruby Sea. The location of Swimming Shadows of Ruby Sea and Yangsha have been adjusted. The success rate for the reeling of certain fish in Stormblood areas have been increased. The Vitality attribute has been added to gathering gear at level 60 and above. The number of yellow crafter scripts received in exchange for collectibles has been increased. Players can now also speak with Menango to complete custom deliveries. By completing these custom deliveries, players will receive guild experience points, red and yellow crafting scripts, or red and yellow gathering scripts. So they list off the requirements there. Experience points have been added to the list of rewards for custom deliveries for Zoe. Weekly reset for custom deliveries has been changed from Thursdays to Tuesdays in accordance with the reset, that everything goes under. The display areas and warning prompts and purchasing items from shops has been adjusted. The following additions and adjustments have been made to the retainer ventures. New items have been added to the quick exploration ventures. New categories have been added for exploration ventures. Luminite ore has been added to level 56 to 70 mining ventures. New mounts have been added, so I think that's the Shinru, new dog mount. And then you have a flying chair that you can sit and kind of relax and think on. Players can now use a special action when riding the Witch's Broom, so that's fun. And Sleipnir can now fly, which is great considering how much he costs. So fantastic, and congratulations anybody who has them. New minions have been added. Oh, a nice little koala bear. That's going to be fun. New chocobo barding has been added. Oh my gosh. Oh, this is insane. I like that. Thank you. Okay, so we got system updates. New achievements and titles have been added. Certain duties and trials will now count towards the completion of achievements. So they say, obviously, Shinru's Domain is going to count to your tanking. But it looks like the Drowned City of Scala, the Minstrel's Ballad, and Royal City of Rabanastar are going to count as well. So, I mean, if you get this, oh my gosh, you're tanking. Wow, that's going to be great. Glamours can actually now be unlocked at level 15. In accordance with these adjustments, the quest it can be accepted at level 15. Moreover, their price has been reduced for recipe books, for carpenters, for all the crafters for their kind of doing their glamour books as well. So that's awesome. New quest unlock glamours has been added to Vesper Bay in Western Thanalan. If I had a glamour. A new quest to unlock recipes has been added in Vesper Bay in Western Thanalan. Absolutely glamorous. So the quest If I Had a Glamour and Absolute Glamorous cannot be accepted if you have already completed the quest Self-Improving Man and Submission Impossible. Conversely, the quest Self-Improving Man and Submission Impossible cannot be accepted if you've already completed the quest If I Had a Glamour and Absolutely Glamorous. So, all right. When receiving a friend request from a player in another world, their information will now appear in the contact list when in info. This is going to be great for anybody who we're playing with on Twitch. Players can now add other players to inform different worlds within the same data center on their friends list. So add friends. This is going to be so much nicer. Players can now send tell message to players from different worlds in their friends list. And so you can also see the icon that says if they are online or not. Players can now use the Party Finder to recruit cross-world alliance raids and custom matches. This is going to be great. Like one of the things I've really wanted to see with custom PvP is those options. So recruiting, it looks like you can see Alliance A, B, and C. Oh man. Lots of information. Oh, this is going to be great. We should totally try to get something together for Rabanastar. Participating when searching, forming an alliance ready to join. The roles of each member will not be displayed in the Party Finder window. The number of players in each of the three parties will be displayed instead. So you can see A, B, and C, and that information as well. Selecting an alliance raid from the Party Finder will display the list of participating parties, which you may choose to join. Okay, oh, that's cool. Bop, 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 bop. Custom matches. To begin, select Custom Match tab for the recruitment criteria. Claws, Fangs, and Spectators are recruited simultaneously. The players are recruiting for a custom match will always be members of the Claws. It is possible to recruit for a custom match without any spectators. So you can see, while recruiting, you can check the status of the other members and form party members under the party menu. Participating. When searching for a custom match to join, the roles of each member will not be displayed in Party Finder. The number of Claws, Fangs, and Spectators will be displayed instead, much like the Alliance Raid kind of setting. Selecting an Alliance Raid from Party Finder will also display a list of the participating parties which you would choose to join. So it looks like you can kind of pick if you want to join the Claws or the Fangs and kind of go from there. I wonder if you can remove role restrictions. Remove spectators. Okay, remove role restrictions. Yeah. The following additions and adjustments have been made to the Party Finder. Party Finder display settings has been added to Party Finder. Lock duties can be hidden, and the interval between notifications has been changed. So you can have those good settings. That's going to be really helpful, especially because it's like, oh, there's like 300 people recruiting, and then it's like only 2 of them are open. Let me just see that. I wonder how that's, hopefully that doesn't affect search, because sometimes we do recruiting with a locked via Twitch, and that way I want to make sure people can find us. I guess that would make sense. I don't know. Well, I guess you can go and focus in on just the private section or search, I guess. New color filters, screen effects have been added to the group and glamour pose. Selected a quest marker on the region map will switch the corresponding map area. When using a gamepad or controller, scrolling around the map holding right trigger R2, that will actually reduce the scroll speed. And companions and minions can be summoned at the same time. They did it. They did it. I'm only kidding. The time remaining after summoning and the companion is now shown in the party list. Oh, that's going to be great. Rather than having to check, you can kind of see if you're about to run out. If a minion disappears as a result of the character being KO'd, the minion will reappear when the character is revived. The display resolution of the character model shown in the character tab, try on and try on die, and the other windows have been increased. The resizing of UI elements such as character and similar menus can now include 160, 180, and 200% options. I'm really actually excited about that. I'm going to have to kind of play around with my UI again, see if I want to make any changes. The following have been added to the currency menu. So ventures have been added, and the tribal tab has been added for beastman currencies. The following additions and adjustments have been made to actions and traits. So the position of the general tab has been changed, and class and job actions have been combined under actions and such. As such, the jobs tab has been removed. I really am excited about this. This is hopefully going to make it a lot easier, especially for kind of newer players, to see all their skills in one area. Actions under the actions tabs have been assigned to hotbars even if they are not yet available. That's great. And to better distinguish between actions that can and cannot be assigned to the hotbar, the design use of their actions has been changed. So it looks like they've kind of put a little red kind of circle around them or something like that. Circle. Why is it called the dueling square? Or dueling circle? It's early, guys. An option has been added to disable duty action inputs performed on the gamepad controller with LT and RT, the right analog stick button, and R2 and L2. So you can kind of customize if you want it to be an action on your hotbar, or if you want to still use those commands. Target type, target closest enemies options has been added to the character configuration interface, the keyboard, and the gamepad controller. Target type 1 and 2. Now, target type 2 sounds interesting. It targets enemies based on the cone shape originating from the position of the camera and focusing in on the nearest character perspective, nearest enemy. I know a lot of people will be like, why is it targeting that enemy all the way over there? So it looks like it's going off of a cone shape from the where the camera is and beyond. So I'm gonna have to play around with that. Hopefully that makes it easier to kind of really target the enemies you want. Stormblood Beast Tribe quests have been added to the Reputation tab. When using a mouse, right-clicking a hotbar's number cycles through the hotbar layouts. Party list can now display up to 10 status effects, and it looks like they're showing both detrimental and it looks like they've been standing in front of Marlboro. UI element settings have been added to the UI layout, HUD layout. This is great. One of the things that was always kind of broken was you had to go to the character config to turn certain things on. You had to go here. Very excited to see how that plays out. The following additions and adjustments has been made to the HUD. So here is, you can focus in on various things, so like your duty, actions. Here's your different sizes. The target bar can be now divided up into HP, progress, and status. So you can have it all kind of into one item, or you can break it up into all different objects as well. So that's going to be really interesting to see. To enable this function, select the target HUD from the layout, and then select display target info independently. The status info UI element has been divided into enhancements and enfeeblements and other. So this is great. You can now position your debuffs and your buffs accordingly. Thank you very much. I'm very excited about that. The job gauge has been adjusted as follows. So the Dragoon from 4 to 3, you can see the different eyes and how that functions. The gauge indicating the duration of straight shots increased critical hit effect rate has been added. Thank you. The Machinist, the gauge indicating the duration of hot shots increased physical damage effect has been added. And then they were showing off the simple gauges, so you can see the Paladin, the Red Mage. This is great. Wow, that's real simple stuff there. A warning message will now appear when attempting to join a duty via Party Finder if gear condition is lower than 30%. Thank you. The following adjustments have been made to the scenario guide. Changes have been made to the timing with side quest My Feisty Little Chocobo and job quest unlocks and unlock quests are displayed. The number of shown with XP bars has been added with commas. When cycling through inventory tabs with the gamepad controller, the active tab will now loop back to the first tab in your inventory. The most recent used chat mode will be saved when logging out. They've changed icons for wave and goodbye. The following additions have been made to the character configuration interface regarding targeting tabs. So they have the ignore depth and clone. Party list tab, party list status effects display maximum. So you have the ability to pick that. That's fantastic. So the cross tab enable cross hotbar, enable duty action input. That has been added there as well. The following have been removed from the character configuration interface. They can now be used under the UI elements in the HUD settings. So display enhancements and enfeeblements, status icon, display type, and display target information. When viewing the credits, 2 on the numeric keypad adjust the speed and 0 pauses. Okay, I guess you can speed it up. The following text commands have been added. You guys can change your title, Bahamut size, role playing, emote log, many new commands. We're not going to go through all of them. I will again include the link in the description below if you guys are still here at this point. I'm looking at my wrist and there's no watch on it, so it's like I don't know why I'm doing that. New phrases have been added to the auto translation dictionary. New adjustments have been made to certain items in the auto translation dictionary. New music has been added. Adjustments have been made to the veteran rewards. We covered this in a specific video. I encourage you to go check that out. And the following optional items have been made available for purchase from the Mog Station. So you can Tales of Adventure, One Retainer's Journey, Metallic Orange Dye, Vampire Vest, Gold Leaf Interior Wall, Piping Hot Pumpkins to do Up in the Dawn Orchestral Roll, Metallic Yellow Dye, Gold Leaf Flooring, Continental Eye, All Saints Wake Orchestral Roll, Far Eastern Nobles Attire. Woo! We did it, guys. We went through those patch notes, and they are looking good. I think content-wise, I think there's just general feeling, not a lot. I'm really excited about the story and where we go from here. It's going to be great to see how that all plays out and how it affects, work in the long run. Well, I'd love to know your thoughts on patch 4.1 notes. What are you most excited about? What are you most looking forward to? If you guys are planning on, and if you're still watching this video at this point, playing on Tuesday for patch 4.1, we'll be doing some live streaming. I definitely want to be able to try to make advantage of those new party finder tools and dive into those features and those settings. So let us know if you're joining us over on Twitch. That's Work2 Game, the number 2. Link will also is in the description below if you guys want to come hang out with us on Tuesday for the live stream. Guys, I apologize for the length of this video, but I didn't write the patch notes, and there's a little bit more, I guess raw, as I read through them. I apologize for any mispronunciations, but this has been a lot of fun. I am really excited to see. Really, very much looking forward to patch 4.1 and going from there. So anyway, for Work2 Game, my name is Brian. Thanks so much for watching this video. Hope to see you in my next. But until then, I'll see you in patch 4.1. Take care, guys.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. Brian, do you think there's anywhere they could catch us in the meantime?
Right now, Chris, we're probably on Twitch. If it's probably in the afternoon, it could be you. Sometimes you see my face. And we also found this random guy, named Kevin on the street somewhere.
I accidentally left my password written on the side of my car.
Oh man, that was really a big mistake. But guys, we really appreciate it if you guys hit the link in the description below for our Twitch page. We'd love to see you over there. And you can even subscribe to us over on Twitch.
If you're Amazon Prime, that could even be free.
Oh my gosh, what a deal.
Well, cool. Well, thanks guys so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Take care.